Great.
Thank you, Dad. At least somebody's great. Okay, we are short a few leaders tonight, so this should be fun. Okay? Red, blue, green, and yellow teams. We are going to get started with a game, and we are actually going to do our game outside, but we were going to prepare for it in here. So, if you are on a team, you know what team you're on? Yes. Okay, everybody pause it. If you are not already on a team, please stand up. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. All right.
Can we meet the newbies first?
We are going to meet the newbies. Are you guys all newbies? Have you never been here? I know Sam's been here.
Sam hasn't been here.
You've been here once? You're new?
Yeah, she's my niece.
Come on up front. You new too? Come on up.
I know. You're new too. Come on up. Shannon. Get up there. He can't get up.
Let's all stand up. Come on, I don't care if you're crippled. Stand up.
Wow. Stand up.
There we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 newbies. Clap for the newbies! Let's meet them. What's your name, sweetheart? Lily? You go to what school? Lily goes to Somerset. What grade are you in? Third grade. Do you use pens in third grade? No? Would you like candy and stuff? It's nice to meet you, Lily. And you are? Isaac. Where do you go to school? Fairfield Union. Wow, long ways from home. And what grade are you in?
6.
6th grade. Okay, how about that? Nice to meet you. All right, nice to meet you guys. And you are? Alyssa.
Alyssa plays
Go to school?
hockey.
What grade are you in? Alyssa's in 9th grade. Welcome, Alyssa. Yeah. All right, you guys can have a seat. Nice to have you. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait, we forgot the cripple in the back. Don't forget the crib. Tell us your name. Hi. Is that forget? Is like already taken?
He's a thing, not a he.
All right, so did all of our newbies sign in? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right. What we need to do for our game, all right, if you're on the blue team, stand up.
Brad, stand over there.
Holy cow, is this all we got?
Yes, it's very sad.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Blue.
It's funny because the blue team's in the lead right now, so.
Blue team.
Was.
Yeah. Ben's going to give you each a balloon.
Oh, we all do.
And a piece of string. And what I want you to do is everybody blow up your balloon. And tie it now.
I can't tell.
If you don't know how to tie it, I'll tie it for you. You do. Who's your newbie?
She's my newbie.
All right. Here, Ben, give me some. Well, look who's here, Ashiko. Hi, honey. And you have with you who? Brother. Well, right. Love that.
He was like, I was saying, like,
All right. Sit down. If you're on the red team, stand up. Okay, this is lame.
we don't have our team leader.
There's no team leader. This is not going to work tonight, y'all. Here's what we're going to do. Why don't we just have one from each team? Come up and pick it up. One from each team? Okay. So I need one person from red team to come up front, and one person from blue team to come up. Ow! Volunteer for blue team? Take back. Finish blowing that up. where to got a yellow volunteer? Is that big enough? No. Yeah, that's big enough.
What do you do right now? Do it right out where you're at.
Right outside? Okay.
Open the door. That way you don't have
Tie the string to the balloon. Yep. Make sure you don't use too much of your string.
How much time?
You're not tying anything because you already busted yours and we're just doing it with one. Sorry. I was going to do it with everybody, but we don't have enough team members here. I don't know here. I would use the one. Is that supposed to shoot? What? No, we'll use it for another game later. Not today. Alright, now, you should have this balloon on a string. What I want you to do is take the string and tie it around your ankle. So you should have your balloon tied to your ankle, okay?
Can I take my shoes off?
Take your shoes
Guys, my
off.
gagging smell though.
Do I have to take my shoes off?
We're just gonna.
No, but I am.
We're going to do it right here then. No?
Do we have to jump around it like one of those things? That'd be cool. I'm gonna trip and fall and break my face. Hope you guys have insurance.
Okay, Dad, you might want to move the camera.
I bet you we have to kick this thing.
Probably, like, scoot way back just for this.
Yeah. I have a balance problem, bro.
Oh, you want to leave more room than that.
I got kicked out.
That's all right. Well,
Aww.
you're right. Now, stand up here. We have our volunteers. Remember, this is for 50 points for your team, y'all. The object is to be the last one with an unpopped balloon. So you want to pop everybody else's balloon and not get yours.
That's okay, I don't care.
On your mark, get set, go!
I fight.
Hey, fair fight, come on! Sierra, come back inside. Keep going. Keep going. Down to red, blue. Red, green. Okay, keep going. Alright, you can move back in.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. My toe. Yeah, well, you're not See how that smells like peeled back? Hey, that's that My toe hurts now.
Since we have a guest speaker tonight, we're not going to have time to break into our groups, okay? But you will get points for being here if you are on a team because I have the master list. So I'll know if you're here, okay? We'll just have the 50 points for that and then yes. Alright, so everybody turn your cell phones off already. I would like to say that we have a couple of celebrities with us tonight. Actually, we have one of these. I didn't see the other one. Kate Dixon, come up. And why is Kate a celebrity?
Because she did all the challenges.
Because she has been to 5 meetings and has done 5 challenges, so give her a hand. Did I just miss Capri? Is Capri not here?
Yes, Capri is here.
Where is she? There you are. Did you do your challenge last week?
Last year?
Yes. This past one.
I would
I
be
know
so
something back
mad.
there. Ben, what was the challenge? Read the orange sheet. feels outcast. It can also be somebody unnoticed. Did you do that?
Yes.
Okay, come up and get your bracelet as well.
All right.
I did that.
Yay, Capri, everybody give her a hand.
All right,
Logan, you needed an extra one. Alright. So, for those of you who want one of these fabulous bracelets, the black and purple ones, and you don't know how to get one, it takes 5 meetings and 5 challenges. That's all you gotta do when you get one. Okay? Not that hard. As for this little bracelet here, these little pink and yellow ones, these are for Brittany Robinson. We have her mom and her dad here with us tonight, and they are going to share her story with us. So, just 1 second here, and we're going to get them started. I want you guys to know before we get started, by the way, this means quiet. Before we get started, we had 49 people last week, and we had 6 newbies, and 16 people did the challenge, so yay. That's awesome. Hopefully, we have that many people who actually listen. Okay. I'm going to put Brittany's picture up there. How many of you guys were here last meeting? So you saw Brittany's picture, right? Yeah, she was gorgeous. Okay, let's get her up here. Where did I put her?
I heard a phone dying.
That's not it. So, if you guys would be so kind to please give Miss Joy Robinson your undivided attention. She's going to share her story with you tonight. Okay?
Okay, I'm no public speaker. I'll tell you that. But I do have a story to tell. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor of suicide. My husband and I. We had a daughter late in life. I was 37. He was 39. And we were happy. We didn't think we were going to have any children. But this is Gary's only child. I have a child who's 33. I guess you call him a child. But anyway, everything was Brittany. I mean, from the time this kid, you know how parents brag about kids, you know. Well, I'm not bragging, I'm telling the truth. By the time she was in 1st grade, okay, we had a parent-teacher conference. And we went in there, and they said to me, nothing's wrong. We just wanted to meet Brittany. I mean, she helps other students. She's just, you know, she's just a doll in class. And we walked out of that parent-teacher conference, I looked at Gary and I said, Gary, I says, well, she switched to birth. Because Gary and I, neither one was like that in school. So that's the way she was when she was little. And as she grew, we were close to her. We would go on vacations to the beaches. She loved the beach, just like us. And we'd go on camping trips to the beach, stay on the beach, and we just enjoyed her. I mean, she was just a joy to be around. Nothing like my son was as a teenager.
You know you're being recorded, right?
Don't show this to Howard. Well, anyway, she grew into she was always cute, but a beautiful young lady. In her high school years, in 8th grade, she met this boy. His name was Trevor. And they started dating in 8th grade. And they continued to date for 3.5 years. Let's go back to Brittany in high school. In high school, she had a lot of friends. And she worked at Applebee's. She did her studies. She had her friends and socialized. But yet, she still was all right. She was a perfect child. In her junior year, this was probably in April of her junior year, this guidance counselor talked her into, since she was a gifted child, to take college courses at Columbus State in her senior year. Okay, I remember being in that guidance counselor office, and I said to her, I said, are you sure you want to do this? I mean, don't you want to just take 2 courses of Central Crossing and just have fun in your senior year? And she said, oh no, I want to do it. So she decided to do it. She went through, she was going through a lot. She had to know what she wanted to do for her life by June 1st, to know what courses to take at Columbus State. Yeah? You know, there's juniors in college that doesn't even know what they're going to be when they graduate. And she, Columbus State. Oh, and she was taking that SAT test in a couple weeks. She was going to take that, and she had exams the next week. I mean, it was just a combination of everything. 3 weeks before this happened, she had a change. I mean, she stopped talking to us. She said that she was, she wouldn't eat, but she said she was going to eat at Applebee's at night if she was working, or she had a big lunch. Well, you know, I didn't pay much attention. You know, she's a teenager, you know, and they go through moods. I know that. So I thought she was just going through a teenage mood. A week after that, 2 weeks before this happened, she came home from Applebee's one Friday night, and she told me that she had taken pills. So my friend and I, we gathered her up and rushed her to the doctor's hospital, where she talked. She was very smart, a very smart young lady. And these are the ones that commit suicide, the ones that are smart, because you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. But anyway, she took those pills. She told the doctors, 2 doctors and a social worker, that she would never do this to her parents, you know, and it was a one-time thing, and everyone believed her. Even us, we believed her. So we took her home. That's Monday. We took her to our family doctor, where Dr. Fraser said she acted fine. She went in there, her bubbly self and smiling and everything, but she put her on antidepressants because she did try to commit suicide. 2 weeks, during that time period, she was up and down. I mean, we went to Rubino's Pizza Place, and I remember the Tuesday before this happened, it happened on a Saturday, that we were going to, we had a group hug, you know, when we left. I mean, you know, just, you know, things that we used to do. And in those 4 days, she acted fine. Hello? She was fine. On that Saturday morning, she didn't come home. She was staying at her boyfriend's house. And his father said she acted fine. I mean, she was her bubbly self, smiling and everything. Well, I got a call from her that she was going to stop at McDonald's before she came home with Trevor. So they did that. And next thing I know, Trevor's pulling up in his car. Brittany's not in the SUV. And I go out there and I says, kids, they were arguing. And I said, kids, what are you doing? You know? And she says to me, she says, he doesn't want me anymore. I'll never forget that. He doesn't want me anymore. So I guess she was driving like 80, 90 miles an hour down Johnson Road there by Central Crossing. Well, no one knows where that's at. Anyway, and Trevor couldn't keep up with her. Trevor was trying to get her to stop. That morning, we went and got the SUV. We came home, and then she went into her room. I guess she called Trevor, and they were texting back and forth, and And we were working outside in the backyard, and she was in the bedroom, and we got a text from Trevor that she was going to commit suicide. So every 15 minutes, we went in and checked on her. The one time I walked in, she was smiling. I mean, another time, Trevor said she had a knife. I go in there and I says, Brittany, give me the knife. And she says, what are you talking about? I mean, you know, just like that, you know. And I told her, I says, Trevor said you had a knife, and she says, well, that's just Trevor. You know, we believed she would never do anything like this. I mean, her friends believed it. I mean, her family, other than us, believed it. I mean, everyone that knew Brittany, even in elementary school, didn't think she'd do anything like this. Well, last time her father saw her live, he came in, and he asked her to come out with us. And she said she would as soon as this show's over. She was watching the 70s show. So next time, I went up and checked on her. I opened that door. I tried to open it. It was hard to open. I thought she had a blanket underneath. She did that sometime, and she didn't want us to hear, you know, anything. So I just thought it was a blanket underneath. But I looked, you know, she has a big room. I looked around, and I closed the door to look behind it, and she had hung herself. And that was the most terrifying thing I've ever seen in my life. I guess there's a... Gary knew something had happened because we had the windows open. It was May 21st, 2011. And Gary knew something had happened because of the scream. I never screamed, and I ran out in the yard and screamed, and neighbors came, and, you know, and classmates of Brittany came, and it was a crime scene, you know. Columbus had it as a crime scene. We weren't allowed in the house. So, I never did get to see Brittany before she was at her funeral. That day it happened, Gary was very distraught, and we both were. But he was laying on the ground outside, and he says, what are we going to tell people? And I told Gary, I says, we are going to tell people the truth. Because if this can happen to Brittany, it can happen to anyone's child. You know, depression is the key thing. I mean, you know, you think your teenager's going through a teenage thing. Well, you know, it might be depression. You know, it might be something really serious, especially when they try suicide. You know, and you know, they talk everyone out of it. What we have learned since this has happened is suicide is the third leading cause of death in teenagers. Second leading cause of death in college kids. And it's a sad reality that it happens every day. Every 14.2 minutes, someone in the United States dies of suicide. I mean, it's an epidemic, but yet there's a stigma to it. No one wants to talk about it. And that's why it's important for us to get out there and tell our story. Let them know that suicide is for real. Now, I know you guys are about bullying, but here's something I want to tell you. Whatever Trevor said to Brittany at McDonald's that morning, I believe was bullying. I mean, it had to be something really terrible for her to do something like this. For her to think she was worthless. You know, he had to do something. So I believe in a way that was a sense of bullying. I mean, you gotta be nice to everyone. I mean, I don't care if you've gone with a girl or boy for 3.5 years. I mean, it's important. No verbal abuse. We stay active in suicide awareness. Brittany was a donor. And when she was 16, she put it on her driver's license. She wanted to be a donor. And she asked me first, she says, what is a donor? And I says, well, that's, if something happens to you, your organs are given to people, you know, that need them. And she says to me, she says, well, I don't need them. So she became a donor. She helped 50 people as a donor. They used her muscles, they used her bones, they used heart valves, her eyes, her beautiful eyes are living on. So, Applebee's, they're on Georgesville Road, they help us out a lot with food, and they really love Brittany. I mean, they did a shadow box of her that is to this day at Applebee's. So, it's just, it's important for me that her memory lives on. I mean, I don't want her memory to be complete suicide because we have so many good memories of her, you know, but.
People should help. Tell them about the bus incident when she was in first grade.
Oh, in first grade? Yeah, she was on the bus and these third graders were bullying this kindergartner, Sarah. And Brittany stood up for her, you know, and those third graders, and they stopped it.
Sarah still remembers that.
Yeah, Sarah still remembers that. We learned a lot after the funeral about her. She helped 4 girls from committing suicide, you know, by talking to them. She helped 2 that was bulimic, and she helped 1 that was cutting herself. So, you know, she was an angel on earth. You know, she helped other people, but yet she didn't know how to deal with her own feelings. We are having we started a survivor suicide group on the west side when we first, of Columbus. When we first went to one 10 days after this happened, we found out they only have them once a month. There in Columbus. So we started one at our church once a week. And then, see, we're getting active in the Out of Darkness Walk this year. It's October 7th, and it's in Columbus at Ohio State. And we did that last year too. We had I put some pictures back there of all the people that, you know, came to it. It was amazing. But this year, you know, a lot of them went to college and stuff, so I don't think we'll have as many, but yeah, that's something to remember. On Brittany's birthday, we have balloon. We go to the cemetery over in Newark. We've had Memorial Gardens, and we release balloons for her birthday. And then on the anniversary, May 21st this year, at the church, we released butterflies. It's important for us to keep her alive. And as long as we live, I don't care if we're 80 years old, we're going to be out there with balloons and butterflies to remember her. There was 3 teachers that spoke at her funeral. You know, that was something there. Who else spoke? Oh, the kids. They all got together and they spoke. Yeah, it was, Brittany would have liked it. The memory of her. And everyone wore pink, her favorite color. So, I'm going to tell you that suicide is not fun. And it can happen to any kid. 90% of them, you know, have mental problems, but there's those ones that, you know, will just do it. So we need to not bully. We need to be nice to people. And when you guys feel like you're overloaded from schoolwork, and from and pressures, you know, you need to talk to someone. You need to go to the guidance counselor and tell them, whoa, you know, wait a minute, you know, this is overcoming. I don't want to do this, you know. I just wish Brittany would have done that. So I'm going to leave you tonight and tell you that Brittany lives on with us every day. She's here in this room. And don't forget to get a bracelet. Yeah.
Thank you, Joy, for sharing her story with us. I asked Joy to come here to share Brittany's story because the Out of the Darkness walk is coming up in a couple of weeks. And I want Rise Above to be able to support that, the suicide awareness, okay? The reason why I feel strongly about this, 2 reasons. Number 1, bullying leads to suicide a lot more times than you realize. And number 2, Lauren had a lot of problems with depression as well. And as a matter of fact, when I put it out on Facebook for the very first time that, rest in peace, my daughter Lauren, people have told me afterwards that the first thing they thought was, oh my God, she committed suicide. So although Lauren did not die as a result of suicide, it was prevalent. I had to lock things up. I locked up knives. I locked up pills. I mean, every single night I was afraid that she was going to do something to hurt herself. So even though some of you that knew Lauren knew she was bubbly and happy and laughing and things like that all the time, maybe she didn't show that depressed side to you. But I know that there were days that she came to school in her sweats, with her hair pulled back, looking down, not looking anybody in the eye. Those are the days that I wish somebody would have put their arm around her and been a friend to her. It takes one person to be a friend. One person to make your life worth living. There's been studies that have been done that show, even as young as Kyla's age, you know, in elementary school, that if you have one friend, you're that much more unlikely to be depressed, to commit suicide. It only takes one person. And we here need to strive to be that one person to somebody. Okay? I'm sure I will ask for a show of hands just for the simple fact that I did last week. How many of you guys have ever been depressed or know somebody who's been depressed? Almost every single person. Okay? This is a very real problem. Yes, that's what I mean. Bring it on up. So, before I start my portion of the lesson, because it didn't take as long, and Cabot called and said that he was going to be a little bit late. So I will talk for a little while. What I want to do, and the reason I asked you all to bring money tonight, is because we want to make sure that we give Joy some money towards her Out of the Darkness Walk team. We will be collecting money tonight. We will be collecting money next time we meet as well, okay? So, if you brought money tonight, get it out. And you want to dig deep. I told you guys to sell your dog, you know, do whatever you had to do to bring money, okay? I need give me the same 4 people that were up here that played the game, please.
Don't give me the credit card. Take it down today so you can pull it.
You are which team?
Get up there.
Blue? Okay.
Why?
You're yellow, right? Yeah. Who's red team?
I'll be green. I'll be green.
Wait a minute, where's my red team?
I'll be green.
Are you red team? Okay, here's what we're going to do. Alright? If you are on, come over here. I don't have their balloons right now, but if you are on blue team, you need to give your money to this beautiful lady, Miss Sierra. If you are on red team, you need to give your money to Liz. If you are on green team, give your money to Kate. And if you're on yellow team, give your money to Amanda. Now, if you brought money and you don't have a team yet, this is where it gets fun. These girls are going to try to get your money. So wave it and give it to the person who you think should have it, because there's going to be 50 points for whoever brings me the most cash at the end of this, okay? Go.
I got the money.
Just go up, get your money. Bring it, okay? You want to get every person. If you got money, hold it up. Hold it up. Blue team's got money over here.
That goes to her. I'm red. That goes to her.
You are very kind, sir. Anybody else?
That's her.
Blue team needs money. Where you at?
Come on, you guys. Any more money? No? That's all you can get? Don't look so dejected. All right, give me your money. We're going to count it up. See who's the winner. Oh, you got money? You got money? Yeah. What team you want? How dare you? Yes. I will have you tally. Here, just right on the outside of the envelope. Talk. Amanda is going to tally while I teach, okay? Hey, y'all. You all were so nice and quiet when Miss Joy was up here. I would like the same respect, please. Because I have something really interesting to show you. See this right here? You all like afraid of a little bad luck, are you? Yeah.
Do not do that.
Let me do it. Let me do it. Let me do it.
Please God.
Can I do it? Can I do it? I want to do it.
Good. I want you to pay attention to how I'm doing this, okay? Take it over here. Okay, so I wish I had a bigger mirror, I'm sorry. Alright.
You wait.
Now, I did that for a reason. Don't nobody get up here. I don't want y'all to get hurt, okay? Listen. I want you to look at this mirror and tell me how many of you guys have had your lives feel shattered like that before? I'm raising my hand too, okay? Because I know. Sit down, y'all. Listen, sometimes it's a series of small things. A couple little taps. You see the little taps I did first? Little things. Make a little crack here and there. You know? Not a lot. Oh yeah, you can come clean it up. Just a little crack here and there, but those little taps add up. Yeah. Right? Sometimes it's one big crack, like what I did at the end, right? Sometimes one big thing, like in Joy's instance, like in my instance, one big thing shatters your world immediately. Okay? Sometimes, it doesn't matter how your glass gets broken, just that it's broken. Just that it's shattered. Okay? I want you to liken that mess to your life. Stop and listen, because this is real interesting what I'm going for here, okay? Have you ever looked in a cracked mirror before?
Yeah.
No.
It goes like
The image that you see looking back at you, does it look like you really look?
no.
Sometimes it looks pretty scary, right? You look at yourself in a broken mirror, you're like, dang, okay? It does not look like you really look, okay? It looks different, not as perfect. That mirror, is that mirror ever going to get put back together?
No. No.
Could I put it back together if I wanted to?
No.
Oh, come on now, I could do it if I wanted to.
Yes.
It would take a really long time, I could do it.
There's all little pieces.
Would it ever look the same?
No.
Okay. I want to tell you right now, when my life was shattered on the 4th of July in 2011, it is never going to be the same. Never again. When Joy's life was shattered last year, her life is never going to be the same. Now, does it mean that we will never smile again?
No.
It just means it's different, right? We're still there. We still see beauty there. It's just a little bit harder. Okay? So it's a little bit different. It's not ever going to be the same. Sometimes, how many of you guys knew Mrs. Ridenhour? Okay, lots of hands. Sometimes people are taken out of our life and it shatters us. We don't know what to think. We don't know what to do. We're broken. Okay? The hard thing with this, and why I wanted to pull this together with the depression lesson, is because depression comes on you when you start looking at yourself in that cracked mirror. And all you see is the ugliness, and all you see is the jagged pieces. And you don't remember anymore what was really there to begin with. Okay? You have to be careful that you don't sit around and play with the broken pieces. Why?
Cut yourself.
You will get hurt every time. And trust me, if your mirror has not been broken yet, it will be. It's a matter of time, people. Okay? When you grow up, when you're Jackson's age, the world is happy. You know, all you need to keep you happy is little candies, some TV,
Legos.
Legos, everything's good, right? Legos. But as you move up in life, when you get older, things start to happen. Mom gets sick. Dad loses his job. Boyfriend breaks up with you.
Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible.
You're diagnosed with a learning disability. I know, okay? Your sister dies, okay? Something happens. And the more things happen, the more you start to feel depressed. And the more you start to think, this is my life now. Because you start looking at all those cracked little pieces. Sometimes there's a piece left. It's not a very big piece, but it's a piece left that you can still see yourself in, right? A little tiny little piece, okay? And sometimes that is enough to get you through. Sometimes, if you have a good friend like Logan here, she's had her life shattered, God bless her. You got a good friend that can say, you know what? I know that you've been through a lot, and I know that your life stinks right now, but you have this shining piece. What about this? You guys have somebody in your life like that who can be that sense of encouragement to you? Who tells you like it is? Who opens your eyes to see that there's still beauty left? If you don't have a person like that, you need one. Yes. Open yourself up and allow yourself to have people like that in your life. Everybody needs someone like that. I can't help but think if Brittany maybe would have had somebody like that in her life, maybe she'd still be here with us. Okay? Just that one friend. This is what I've been trying to tell you guys. One friend is all it takes. One person to put their arm around you and hug you and tell you it's going to be okay. All right? Be that one person. Now, I also wanted to share with you, how many of you guys, when I smile, do you think that I look beautiful? Yeah. I do that when you're not smiling. Do you see a deformity in my face?
Yeah, dimples.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm looking for. Does anybody else see a deformity?
Yeah.
No. Your eyes. Your face. My eyes are fine. The face anyway.
Your lips screwed up.
My lip.
Smash your face.
My lip. Don't tell the story. I'll tell the story. Okay. Some of you may not notice, but this part of my lip right here kind of hangs down a little bit. Yeah, now y'all can be like, smile, I want to see how dumb you look. No. Okay, let me tell you. I went along about my happy business until one day I decided I was going to give blood, and I don't weigh enough to give blood. So, I got up in the middle of the night after I gave blood the day before, tried to get a drink of water, smashed my face on the ground as I was falling without any hands, of course, like what you see on Ridiculousness. Yeah, woke up in a pool of blood, okay? My face is forever changed because of that one thing that happened to me. Okay? Now, I passed out, I smashed my face. That's all there is to it. What I want you to get from this is, I don't look the same anymore. Am I the same person inside?
Yes.
Yes, not now since Lauren died, but at that point, yes, I was still the same person. I look different, and maybe I only look different to myself. Most people don't notice that about me, okay? But I know it's there, so I see it every time I look in the mirror. I say, man, I wish my lip wasn't messed up. Okay? Sometimes things happen to us that change us forever. Sometimes it changes how we look. Sometimes it changes how we feel. Sometimes it changes the way we look at life. Okay? I have to guarantee you that when Lauren died, my outlook of life has changed 100%. Okay? So stop and think about your own situation right now and how you can apply this to your own life. Can you guys like sit or something? Thank you. Okay.
Yes! I didn't even do it this time.
So, when our lives are broken and shattered, sometimes we need help healing.
Like the blue.
Sometimes we get the pieces put back together, but the scars and deformities remain. Okay? These are things to remind us and things to learn from. I have learned not to give blood anymore. Okay? I learned from that. I want you guys to understand that when your life is broken and shattered into pieces, there is something we learn from that. Okay? There is a way that you can grow. It's up to you how you're going to do it, because your problems are different than mine. My way of healing since Lauren's death has been to start this group. Okay? It's helped me heal a lot. But everybody has their own way of being able to heal from being shattered and being broken. Maybe you haven't been broken yet and you're just sitting here like, yeah, okay, whatever. Trust me, just file it away. It'll happen. You're going to need this later. Okay? You have to learn to accept the changes. I've learned to accept this in my life. Okay? Learn to accept the changes that are in your life. Realize that there's still beauty. See yourself for who you are on the inside, not what's left of the mirror and all those broken pieces. Okay? Spend too much time looking at the broken pieces, you're not going to get an accurate view of the way things really are. And that's what's important. Now, depression. How does this have to do with depression? Anybody want to say anything about that? No?
She was bullied.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Depression, you can't look away from the shattered mirror. You don't, that's all you see. You don't try to seem good.
Right. What else?
Things always get better.
Things don't always get better?
They will.
Oh, they will, yeah. What I'm looking, I lost my train of thought. Depression, right. I still don't know. Okay, whatever. Depression is not something that you can just snap out of, okay? It is just like that mirror, all right? Something has happened, that mirror is not going to just snap itself back together. So if you know somebody that's depressed, don't be telling them, you need to snap out of it, because, you know, I'm tired of your bad attitude, okay? You can't just snap out of that. How can we help somebody who is depressed? Ideas?
Talk to them.
Talk to them. How else?
I was just gonna say, make them feel like they're loved, like somebody cares for them.
How?
Well, tell them about how much like you appreciate them as a friend and how you don't know what you would do without them, but show them you actually care.
Talking. How else?
What always worked for my sister was, because she was always a depressed person, she was on meds. She liked lasagna. So when she was feeling down, I'd go out to the store and buy lasagna and throw it in the oven. She would have known, she'd smell it, and she'd get happy.
So you did something to make her happy.
Oh yeah, she'd eat the whole thing. I'd get a piece maybe.
Okay. So it's not just talking; it's doing. What else? I'll give you guys some ideas.
Shall
How about some hugs?
Yeah.
Yeah, hugs. Okay. Hug and comfort them. How about taking them to get help? Okay? I have to tell you right now, I know somebody that's depressed, and I've offered several times, hey, if you want to go to a counseling group, I will go with you. I will take you. Okay? That is a big step. Don't say that unless you really plan to make good on that promise. Okay? But that is something that you can do. You can offer to help them by going with them to a place that may be uncomfortable. You can offer to go with them to tell their parents. If this is one of your friends and they're just afraid to tell their parents, you can say, you know what, I'll come with you. I'll hold your hand. I'll do whatever needs to be done. Okay?
I have an idea.
Yes?
When I'm depressed, I go around like little babies or little.
Well, that's not what we're on right now. We're on how do you help somebody else who's depressed. We'll get to that.
I was saying you could go around more like.
You can bring them around babies. Yeah, that would help.
Whatever.
What else?
Turn on some funky tunes.
Turn on some funky tunes. Yeah. Make them laugh. Exactly. Okay? How about share your personal testimony if you have ever been depressed? Okay? How many of you guys have ever been depressed yourself? Okay. Now, how many of you are depressed today? Okay, not as many hands. All right? Let me tell you that the rest of the people that raised their hands the first time and not the second time, they have been able to overcome it. So you helping them would be sharing your story, like I'm sharing my story with you right now. I've been depressed. I was able to help Lauren through her depression because I know what it feels like to be depressed. I know how I kicked it, and I tried to help her by sharing those things with her. Now don't say, oh yes, I know how you feel, I've been depressed too. No, it's not anything to just act like you know how they feel if you don't really know, okay? It's a serious conversation to have. You can't just be saying that just to make them feel better, okay? Just like I wouldn't expect any of you guys to come up and say, oh no, I know how it feels for you to lose a child. I'm so sorry. No, you don't know how I feel. These people right here do know how I feel. Okay? You see what I mean? It's different when you talk to somebody who's actually had that same problem. And it helps. It helps us to talk to each other. Okay? Because we know what feelings are involved. It's not going to help Brad to talk to me about what it feels like to lose a child. He doesn't know. Right? Okay, so don't talk to anybody let you know how they feel about depression unless you have been there and you have kicked it. Alright? Also, like what Amanda said earlier, remind them that their situation is temporary. Okay? How many times have I told you guys, no matter what problems you have today, they're temporary. Even if you say, my problems are with my parents, I can't get away from this problem. Guess what? You're growing up and moving away eventually. Your problems are temporary. Nothing stays the same. Trust me. Okay? Your problems are temporary. Sometimes it helps to hear somebody remind you of that. Okay? You can also, like Brad said, perform random acts of kindness to help them. This would be, like he said, making them a lasagna or whatever it is. It can also be bringing them their favorite candy bar at school when you see them. I know one thing I have to tell you. Lauren loved the fact that people would bring her an energy drink at school. You know, like it was such a little thing for someone to do, but when she would get to school and somebody had bought her one too, she was thrilled to death. Okay, so even on her worst day, when she was feeling depressed, if somebody did something small as that, bring her something that she liked, it helped brighten her day. Okay? Sometimes with depression, it's just about making it one more day. How many of you guys know that? Just one more day. I can make it through today. Okay? And if you're I have to say that feelings of depression do worsen at night, okay? Lots of times you feel like the world is ending at night. But if you can say, you know what, I'm not going to do anything about it right now, I'll wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow, you feel a little bit better. And you're able to make it through one more time, okay? So always try to remind people that that situation is temporary and if you hang on one more day. Offer words of encouragement when someone needs them. This also includes compliments, okay? Just complimenting somebody when you see them. Ladies, you look handsome in your little red outfit there. I must say, looking good, but. Okay, now I am using him for an example, but Blaze really does look good. How many of you guys agree? He looks awesome tonight, okay? I want to tell you that somebody telling you that you look nice or that you smell nice. Somebody told me I smelled nice today. Okay? Or that, you know, you have pretty handwriting or whatever. Giving you a compliment makes you feel good about yourself. Okay? That can help too. And then ask what you can do for them. How many times do we assume that we know what to do for someone who's hurting? But what we have in mind just really isn't what they need? Lots of times. So sometimes it's best just to say, you know what, I know you're hurting, I'm sorry, what can I do to help you? Don't say, if there's anything I can do, let me know. Never say that, okay? The better way to word that is, what can I do to help you? Because that makes them answer you back. They can say, there's nothing you can do. But they also have the opportunity to say, you know what, if you just bring me a candy bar tomorrow, I'll just love you forever. You know, that gives them the opportunity to put that out there. And don't say, what can I do to help you if you don't really plan on doing it. Okay? So that's why I say you can't just like throw these words around and expect them to work. Only say them if you mean them. Okay? How about spending time with that person? Spending time doing what?
Anything.
Their favorite thing.
Their favorite thing, not necessarily yours. If they hate to shop and you say, let's go shopping, and they're like, okay, whatever. Yeah, no. Find out what they like to do. And also, another good idea is to find a common goal. Like what we have right now, how we collected money for the Out of the Darkness walk. You know, if that's something that really resonates with you and it's important to you and you know it's important to them, you can ask that person, hey, do you want to walk in the walk with me? I'm going to be there if you'll be there. Let's do it together. Okay? Or investing in another cause that is close to your heart, something along those lines. where you can do something together. You have an end in mind. You have a project that you're working on together, okay? That helps them. It gives them a sense of purpose. Because when you're depressed, how many of you guys remember when I said the word apathy last week?
Yeah.
Okay, apathy means you don't care about anything, right?
Correct.
So if you give them a little something to look forward to or to work toward, and you're going to help them with it, that kind of takes apathy out of the question, right? Because they're not going to say they don't care. If you're like, come on, let's really do it. It'll be so fun. And if you're excited about it, they're going to be excited about it. Okay? You can also pray for them. Sorry I had to say that, being Christian. I know some of you aren't, but if you are, pray for them. I pray for a lot of you guys all the time. And, you know, it doesn't make any difference to me if you know that I do or not. I just know prayer works. Okay? What not to do? What should you not do if you know somebody who's depressed?
Start like getting all mad at them.
Don't get mad at them. Right. Is it their fault?
No.
Is it somebody's fault who has cancer?
No.
Do you get mad at people for having cancer?
No.
Okay, depression is a disease, just like cancer. It can be treated with medication. Why would you get mad at somebody for being depressed? Treat them with respect, just like you always would. Okay, what else?
Don't just stay away from them because of the mood they're in.
Absolutely.
That's in their life.
I know it's hard. Trust me, guys. I am there for someone who is so hard. She is so depressed. It's so hard for me to be there and text her all the time and, you know, try to encourage her all the time because everything she has to say is negative and I get tired. I get really tired. But every time I text her, I tell her I love her, I tell her I'm praying for her, I keep thinking, you know, I am not going to abandon her. If I stop texting her, she's not going to, I may be the only text she gets that day. You know what I mean? Okay, so don't abandon your friend if they're just negative all the time and you don't want to be around it. I understand nobody wants to be around a negative Nancy, okay? But sometimes you are that one person. And if that person is on your mind all the time, okay, there's probably a reason for that. You know, you are probably the reason that they're still hanging in there. Don't abandon them. What else? What not to do? Those are the only two things you guys can think of?
Don't tell them that when they're depressed is not, it doesn't, like, don't tell them that what they're depressed about is meaningless. It's
Right. You can help by validating their feelings. Even if it's something that's not important to you, okay, it's very important to them or they would be depressed about it, right? Okay, so telling them that, oh, you know, well, you just need to get over him, you know, he's just a boy, whatever, okay? That's not helping them to feel better. That's not going to help them to be out of their depression, okay?
Don't just like say that like if you think it would be like if it was your situation, don't just think that oh it'd be easy for you to get over it because if it really was that easy to get over, they would be.
That's right. That's right. Every person has feelings that are of value, okay? Kyla, come stand up here with me. This little pumpkin right here has different problems than I have, okay? She was, I'm going to embarrass her a little bit, I'm sorry. She was bawling her eyes out trying to do her homework this evening because it was frustrating to her. She was crying, okay? It was very, very important to her that she got her homework finished and she wasn't getting it finished and she wasn't understanding it. Is that something that would make me depressed or cry? No, but it was important to her, okay? So I'm making the, you can go sit down now. I'm making the distinction that just because something is not important to you does not mean that it's not very, very important to the person that you're trying to help. Got that? Okay. Don't make fun of them, call them emo, or tell them that they're overreacting. I can't even tell you how many times people told Lauren that she was emo when she was depressed. Okay? Emotional. That's what it stands for, but it's like that whole look sometimes that people go, when they get depressed, they kind of go through that whole dye your hair black, you know.
We're mascara.
Yeah, but we're learning this. Can we judge people by what they look like? Yes. We can, but should we? No. No, right. Yes.
Also, don't gossip about them and tell them people.
Absolutely. Did you guys hear that? Don't gossip. If someone has trusted you with their feelings, who are you to go around sharing it with the world?
Or start
Well, you know, I talked to Corey, and oh my gosh, she told me she's depressed. Do you think she's going to do anything about it? No!
No, she just told me she
No! If they share something with you, they've opened themselves to you. You owe it to them to keep that in confidence. But, very, very important but, do not ever promise not to tell. Okay?
Yeah.
Because if you promise them, no, I will never, ever, ever tell. Then if they tell me, if someone tells me that they're going to go kill themselves tonight and I've made them a promise,
And then they do it.
okay, yeah. So you don't make that promise. All right? You tell them, if they say, well, you promise you won't tell, you tell them, I promise I will not tell unless it becomes necessary for your health. Okay? If I feel like there's an issue and like you're going to do something, I will tell. Okay? I will tell whoever I have to tell because I care about you as a friend. Okay? Yes?
I wanted to embarrass Brianna for a minute, but every time she like is all depressed or sad or something and comes up to me, it's like, hey, I always like make fun of her just to her face to make her laugh because it works. And then she's all like, oh, I love you. Like she always does like make me smile on her face.
Okay, there's a difference between making someone laugh though and embarrassing them and making fun of them, right? Because even though she may laugh at it, it may really, and I say this because this happened to Lauren. Even though she may laugh on the outside, she may be hurting on the inside. And she's just laughing it off.
Brianna knows
Just
how
go
to
along.
feel.
Alright? Don't just keep telling them things are going to get better. Things are going to get better.
Maybe not.
Things are going to get better. Like, okay, there are certain things you don't say. That just goes in one ear and out the other. Okay? Don't say that. Just tell them, I know you're hurting right now. I'm sorry that you're hurting right now. Okay? Sometimes they just want to be understood. Yes, ma'am.
When my little sister's depressed, I always ask her if she wants to like watch her favorite TV show or something, and if she wants to do that, I'd always do it with her.
Do it with her. That's very good. Very good. Yes.
When I'm depressed, Lauren just like sits there and hugs me and lets me cry on her.
Okay? So it's different for each person, and this is why I'm giving you so many. I have it.
Is that free pizza?
It is! Help yourself! So this is why I'm giving you guys a whole bunch of different ideas, because what works for Kate may not work for Brad, and may not work for Cabot, okay?
Most of it doesn't work for me. Mind if we put this on?
Oh, no, I talk pretty loud, but...
Yes, you do. But, look, sorry guys, this is the magic of television.
I recognize you.
Thank you. You're a young lady of very good taste, obviously. This is Mitch, our cameraman.
Hi, Mitch!
Hello, Mitch. This is kind of nice in here.
Yeah, we had to move out here. Got too
Different
crowded.
setting this year.
I recognize you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Alright guys, so Cabot's just gonna do his thing, Mitch is gonna do his thing, and y'all are gonna listen to me, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Pay attention to me.
Okay, so, and what else do we not tell someone? Don't tell them to
Get over it.
snap out of it. No, okay? You don't say things like that because those things are hurtful, okay? So what do you do if you are the one that's depressed?
Talk to your best friend about it.
Talk to your best friend. Now, let me caution you, talk to your best friend if you know that best friend's not going to be going and just talking about it to somebody else, right?
I completely trust you.
Because sometimes that could be an issue.
We're actually.
What else? Nobody else has any more ideas? Come on, there's a million different ideas.
Sometimes when I take time for myself.
Take time for yourself. Sometimes that includes journaling your feelings. For Rachel, it might be photography because that happens to be something she's good at. I know it was something for Lauren. She would just go out and take pictures. You know, so that was something that made her feel better. Yes.
Poetry.
Poetry, yeah. Writing. Music. Right, a lot of these things. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit more in-depth kind of things, okay? Talk to someone about what's bothering you. A friend, a parent, a teacher, a mentor, that'd be me, okay? Somebody who you can trust. Somebody who you know is not going to be like, oh yeah, girl, I'm telling you, he is just, oh, I don't even know why. No, you need to talk to somebody who's going to be able to down on your level, sit down with you, and talk it out, and keep it in confidence, okay? Also, you could see a counselor, a therapist, or at the very least, you could talk to your family doctor about what's going on. Now, these kind of people do not have to tell your parents. If you don't want your parents to know what's going on, you can still talk to a doctor, okay? Therapists. I took Lauren to a therapist. The therapist is bound to not have to tell me anything, okay? He talked to her about her problems. So that is something that you can do. There's also medication that can be used as well if you have severe depression.
Yeah, but they might use that in a hurtful way. Like,
They might what?
like,
Use the drug.
yeah.
True. I mean, you do have to be prescribed. Yes, what were you going to say, Kate?
When you go to a therapist, if you tell something that you don't want somebody to know,
Mhm.
if it's gonna harm you or has harmed you, can they tell you? Like,
If they are concerned for your health, yes, they can. Okay, they are bound to have to tell doctors or whatever. Okay, but they're not going to go behind you and tell your parents everything you just told them. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, you can have a trusted support person that you can call day or night. Okay, I have been that support person for more than one person. Okay, somebody that you know you can text that person or you can call them anytime, and they're going to drop what they're doing and talk to you. Okay, very important. Believe in something that's bigger than yourself. You guys all know I'm a Christian. God's my rock. Okay. But sometimes it's something different for you. If it's a cause that you believe in 100%, throw yourself into that. Concentrate on something that's important to you. Okay. Commit to a support group. We talked about that. A lot of comfort can be found in talking to people who have been down the same road as you. Okay. I have found that since I lost Lauren, I have made so many friends of people who have also lost their children. And these are people that I would never have talked to before, but now we have something in common. And remember what I was talking to you guys about before. If you have something that's in common with that person, you can be compassionate to them, and they can be compassionate to you, and you can understand each other, okay? So seek out someone who you can talk to. Sometimes a support group can be found online, okay? Plenty of support groups online. We have our support group for bullying online, right? We have our Facebook page and everything. There are people on there that if you're being bullied and bullying is an issue with you, they can talk to you. They can tell you what to do. There's people who have been bullied who can say, you know what, I went in that same situation. Here's what I did. Message me or text me and we'll talk about it some more. Okay? I belong to an online support group for grieving mothers. That's where I've met a lot of my support people. Okay? Surround yourself with positive people who will hold you accountable. And what I mean by holding you accountable is if I am going to do something to myself to hurt myself, I need to have that person who's going to be able to stop me. Okay? If my support person is Brittany, she's going to be that person to hold me accountable. She could be the one to call me every single day and be like, how you doing today? What have you done today to move forward? What have you done that's positive in your life today? I don't want to hear about all your problems. You can tell me about your problems, but when we're done talking about your problems, you're going to tell me what are you doing to get out of your problems, okay? Sometimes you need to be that voice of reason to somebody. Yes, Katie?
Okay, I thought this is really important. Okay. When I was in 4th or 5th grade, this little boy, he sat with me on the bus, and he would annoy me really bad, and I was bullying him. I'm not proud of this, but the ending is what I'm proud of. Yeah. I would push his head up against the window of the bus, and then I seen him for the first time in 4 or 5 years. He came into the high school for ALC, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know that kid. And then I asked him what his name was, and then I talked to him, and I wasn't bullying him, obviously.
She actually apologized.
Good.
He didn't remember me.
Good for you.
So.
Good for you.
I know.
Yes, ma'am.
When I lived in Canada and I went to kindergarten in 1st grade, there were a ton of these other students that kept on bullying me, and I would keep asking them to stop, but they wouldn't listen, and I would tell the teacher, and they still wouldn't stop. They wouldn't stop.
So how did the story end up? Did you still keep getting bullied, or did you find a way out of it?
Well, I stopped getting bullied after I moved.
Okay. Did you make new friends?
Yeah.
Good. You don't bully people, do you? Okay. Just checking.
When I was at church camp this year, when we sat down to take our camp pictures, well, because of my connective tissue disorder, I was not able to get up. So the three boys behind me laughed. And I was like, excuse me, I'm sort of disabled, I'm not able to get up. And they were like, okay. And so I went and told my pastor, like, hey, these three boys were laughing at me because I couldn't get up. And so after that, they stopped picking on me because I'm pretty sure that my pastor did tell them, settle down and mind your business.
What's her heart? She's so cute, you guys. Okay, just a few more things. We're going to wrap this lesson up because I still have other things to do, and I'm sure Cabot needs to do his thing as well. Commit to small changes, okay? If you're depressed, it's really not a good idea for you to be making this big old giant laundry list of things that you need to do to change yourself and make yourself perfect, okay? Because guess what? You're going to be discouraged when you get up the next day and you haven't done any of the things on that list, and so you're just going to go back to bed and be depressed again, okay? So start with small changes. Sometimes it helps to make a list. Sometimes you just write down on the list, get out of bed, get dressed. That's my list, okay? Sometimes that's all you can do when you're depressed. And sometimes it's not even that. But if you do those two things, you're out of bed, you're dressed. Okay, yay me, I did my list today. Tomorrow I'm going to add one more thing, okay? I'm going to get out of bed, I'm going to get dressed, I'm going to go to school. Okay? The next day you do those three things. Wow, I can do those three things. I'm going to add one more thing to my list. And before you know it, you are propelling yourself into getting well again, feeling better again, being your old self again. Okay? Move around. Lying in bed all day just makes you feel worse. Okay? This was one of Lauren's worst things about being depressed. She laid in bed all the time, slept all the time. Even if you just get out of bed and go downstairs and make yourself a snack and go outside for a walk for 5 minutes, that's better than laying in bed and never moving at all, okay? Don't underestimate the power of moving around. Physical activity really, really helps, okay? And then start a project. Like I said, preferably start it with a friend. Find somebody who's willing to be there for you and say, you know what? Let's start working out together. 3 days a week. Me and you, we're going to work out together 3 days a week. I promise you we're going to do it, okay? And then have that person hold you accountable. And that is a project. Or you can say, you know what? There is a family down the street and their house just burned down. Let's go around and collect money to help them. Or whatever it is your cause happens to be, okay? You and your friend take that cause on, begin a project, and that gives you something to look forward to, okay? Make a plan. Stay away from people who are going to criticize you or are negative. Okay, those kind of people that we talked about that don't know what to say. And then surround yourself with people and things that make you feel better. Like we talked about some of the things that make each of you feel better. For me, coffee makes me feel better. Church makes me feel better. I'm happy when I go to church. Good smells. If you guys ever been in my house, you know I love me some candles. Okay. A good book or a peaceful time outside in nature, those are the things that make me happy. So when I'm feeling down, those are the kind of things that I kind of gravitate toward. You should have a little list of your own, okay? Something that you can just sit down and say, you know what, if I'm having a bad day or if I'm feeling depressed, I'm going to do this, 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 and this and see if that doesn't help me feel better, okay? Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't, but it's worth a shot, okay? Stay away from drugs and alcohol. I shouldn't have to tell you this, all right? This is like basic, but drugs and alcohol can make depression worse. So if you think that popping a pill to make you feel better or having a drink to make you feel better is going to work, guess what? You're going to feel worse tomorrow. Guaranteed. Okay? And it's a vicious cycle because you go back and take more and then you feel worse the next day. So it's not a long-term solution at all. Yes, Chris?
There's also a song called Whiskey Lullaby. Country song.
Are you going to sing for us?
Yeah. Like these two couples, like they're both in love and they end up breaking up. Well, they never really talk to each other. ever again. And the guy, he like drinks himself, like tries to drink his memories with her away. And in the end, he ends up overdosing from alcohol poisoning. Well, she ends up never telling him that she still loved him. And she ended up drinking herself with alcohol poisoning as well, holding a picture of him in her hand when she died.
So that's like,
Held it as hard as she could.
that's like a bad thing to get into.
I mean,
Yeah.
some people do.
Right.
Like that.
More people than you know do that. So I just thought that I needed to reiterate that to you guys. Okay, lastly, recognize that each day is different. Accept what you feel today just for today. Okay? Lots and lots and lots of times I do this, guys. I still have days when I miss Lauren. Believe it or not, I do. And I know Joy still has a time when she misses her daughter as well. Okay? What I do on days like this is I realize today I'm having a bad day. It sucks today. I feel sad today. There's nothing I can do to fix it. But guess what? Tomorrow I might feel better. And I just resign myself to the fact that today is just going to be bad. I'm going to wait till tomorrow and see if it helps. Okay? And a lot of times it does. All right, so depression turns your thoughts inward. It's all about me and my world. Okay? Look at me in my broken little mirror. I'm feeling sorry for myself, okay? So the biggest thing that I would have to say would help is to turn that mirror outward. Okay? You don't want to look at those broken pieces anymore. Guess what? Put the mirror on somebody else. Find somebody else that you can help. Okay? Because once you get the focus off yourself and your broken life, things don't seem so bad. Help someone else. All right? Any questions? Okay. I am going to ask Cabot to come to the front, and he can ask any questions that he wants to ask, and then we will get started on our activity when he's finished, all right? So give him a hand, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Might put this on your shoulder because I'm going to ask a question to you and it may kind of bounce around. I don't know. Just a suggestion.
You don't want to get the mic.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question, and then when you speak up to me, speak loud, and we'll be able to probably pick you up okay. You've been through, and I do want to speak with you. I guess I just missed you a little bit here. Is that right? Okay. Well, I would like to be able to speak with you as well. I'm certain. I was here about a year and a month ago, I think about 13 months ago. How many in here were here at that point in that group that night? Okay, so we've had some that are here, and we've had some changeover, some new people that have been here. But I guess among the older people that have been here, I was talking to Ben about this a moment ago. Have you had any challenges with this being a part of this group? In other words, where maybe somebody had taken what you were trying to do in the wrong way, or they thought maybe you weren't as nice as you were trying to be, or just have you had any kind of pushback, I guess, from people at all? Yes, ma'am, over here.
A lot of people, when you're trying to stick up for somebody, they do say a little thing, they call you like the rise above police and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's really the only problem I have.
The rise above police, and the fact of the matter is you're probably going to get some of that because some of those kids either don't understand it or don't want to understand it. But I remember that one of the real focuses of this group was to change the culture of the school. In other words, not to return nastiness for nastiness, but to attempt to return something good for something nasty. Does anybody have an example of where you actually did that? Somebody was being kind of nasty to you, and instead you turned around and you tried to do something that maybe you were encouraged to do here at Rise Above? Yes. Speak loud.
I was like, my friend was talking to me, and we were sitting here talking about her. This was just recently, and I was talking to her about Rise Above because she's one of my friends that might have some problems, and it's like some of the boys came over and they overheard and they started being like sarcastic and making fun of me and her because we might not have the same problems as they do. And he took the matters of like making fun of Rise Above and he like told all his friends, and then I came to school one day and everyone just stared at me like there's something wrong with me because I did Rise Above.
And yet, there are some kids, and you've got some friends here that are backing you up too, right? And how important is that?
It's very important to me because I feel like they actually love me.
Right. Now, another point that Shannon made, and I heard somebody, I heard one of the stories being told about somebody at church actually, or going to talk to their pastor, or telling somebody when this was happening to them. You know, it used to be when I was a little kid, it was like you keep your mouth shut, you know, you don't narc on somebody, you don't tell on someone. Has that changed though? Has that changed where it's okay to do that? Can somebody address that? Rather than just yes, can somebody actually put a few words to that in their experience? Anybody have an experience like that? Back here, is that Caitlin? No.
Katie.
Katie, yeah. Okay, Katie.
Well,
Nice and loud.
If you're having like a problem and you don't tell somebody like as it begins, then it could like progress into something worse or something further on.
Mhm.
So it's better to deal with a situation that is lower until you add fuel to the fire.
Right, so, but I mean, in terms of going to a principal or an assistant principal or a counselor, an adult, have you done that?
Yes.
You have done that?
Multiple times my freshman year.
Uh-huh. And what would you say to others who maybe have a little trouble doing that?
Well, it really depends if you're looking for a certain kind of help, you need to ask other people for like their opinion. Don't just keep it to yourself because you could be going to the wrong kind of help. Like if you go to somebody you know is going to talk about it, then not necessarily go for somebody who you trust and that actually cares for you.
And that certainly goes for an adult or a good friend, but, well, I didn't mean to necessarily interrupt. I know you were getting ready to do some kind of activity, right?
Yeah.
Is that a memory card or something?
We are, yeah. Do you want me to go ahead and?
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Okay, I forgot to make my last point before I brought him up, because, yeah, I'm a little starstruck by the whole news thing and whatnot. But the reason I had Ben bring this in is because I want you guys to see what a beautiful thing that broken glass can make. And sometimes when you pick up all the pieces, they don't go back together the way that they were, but they go back together in a more beautiful way. Okay? So kind of keep this in your mind and think, you know what, some bad things have happened to me. I've got some shattered pieces, but that doesn't mean I'm ruined. Okay? Remember that. All right.
Now, you
So,
sang for us the last time.
yeah.
You brought a song or something.
Yeah.
I don't sing anymore. I
You
haven't
don't
sang.
sing anymore.
No, I don't, because this has become my passion here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I do want to say, wow, Team Yellow Sunshine was able to raise $60 for the Out of the Darkness Walk. The blue team raised $20. Team Slytherin, my green team, $29. And my red team, $31.27.
Could you explain, and I know that the couple is here, is about that, what that
Yes.
Out of the Darkness Walk is?
The Out of the Darkness Walk is being held in Columbus on October the 7th. And it is for suicide awareness and suicide prevention. And Joy and her husband have a team in honor of their daughter that they'll be walking, Team Brittany. It's a little far for us to go and walk ourselves, but we have chosen to be able to support them monetarily. And not only this week, but next week we will also be taking up another collection to be able to help them, and we will do as much as we possibly can to make sure that the word gets out about suicide prevention and suicide awareness. Also, I did want to make sure that you guys are aware that this Thursday, there is a candlelight vigil for survivors of suicide in Newark. That will be starting at 7 o'clock. So if you know somebody that died of suicide that's in your life and you want to honor them, you are welcome to go to the square in Newark and bring that person's picture. They will also have it available where you can add their picture to a quilt as well. So if you can't make it to Columbus to support the walk, maybe at least you can make it out to Newark, okay?
That's this Thursday?
It is, yeah, 2 days from now. Okay, so, congratulations, Team Yellow. As a matter of fact, next week's challenge is going to be to bring as much money as you can, okay? This is the group challenge, all right? It is a double point challenge, so if you bring money, any kind of money at all next week for the Out of the Darkness walk, you'll get 10 points for your team instead of 5, okay? So make sure you dig out the couch cushions, sell your dog and cat, sell your little brother and sister, whatever you have to do, bring money, okay? Now, for our activity this evening, do you have dirt on my face? Okay. I have dirt like all over my hand. I don't know where it came from.
I think I see a little right.
See my lip? Okay. For our activity this evening, what I want to do is we're going to take these tables back here and we're going to move them long ways so that you guys can sit around them, okay? We are going to make memory cards. Now, those of you who knew Mrs. Ridenauer, who passed away this past week, okay? If you knew Mrs. Ridenauer, I want you to do this in honor of her, okay? I want you to take your picture. All my kids brought a picture of themselves tonight. I want you to put it on a piece of paper, smack in the middle or on the back or wherever you want to. And then on the other side, I want you to write a memory that you have of Mrs. Ridenauer, of something she said to you, of something that you did that was fun in her class, something that sticks out to you about her, okay? Now, if you did not know Mrs. Ridenauer, but you know someone else who passed away, and they still have a family member that you can get this to, I want you to do it for them, okay? The reason why I'm having you guys to do this is because I talked to Joy before we had this meeting, and both of us agreed that if you look behind, she's got a poster here from Brittany's friends where they all wrote down memories that they had of her. And those are one of the most things that are most special to us, okay? Is when people come, even a year later, if people come and they write to me on Facebook and say, you know what, I had this funny thing, I so remember how Lauren used to do this, and this, and oh my gosh, we had such a great time that day. Those things mean the world to someone who has lost a loved one, okay? And I don't care how long it's been. My dad lost his wife, my stepmom, years ago. And I know that it would mean the world to him if someone would come up and say, Bruce, I can so remember that Linda used to do this. You know, those kind of things resonate with the people that are left. And it's too late for us to tell Mrs. Ridenauer how much that she meant to us, but it is not too late to tell her family how much that she meant to us. So that's what we're doing tonight. The reason I asked you to bring a picture of yourself is because a lot of times when someone passes on and we get cards from people, we don't know who it is because we get so many. And especially Mrs. Ridenauer had so many students who loved her. It would be good for her family to be able to put a face with the memory. And so we want to make sure that they know, hey, this is what I looked like, you know, when I was in her class and we had a great time and I loved her because she taught me this because, you know, whatever it is that's special to you, okay? Any questions about that activity? Everybody got somebody in mind that they can write this about? Yes?
What if we know someone, but we don't know the address anymore?
Do you have a way of getting it to them at all?
I wouldn't even know where to start anymore.
Okay. Can you think of someone else?
It's the only person that's ever really had an impact on my life. They died my freshman year of high school, and I still to this day have their obituary file.
Okay. If you don't have any way of getting it to their family, you can do one of two things. You can either make up a memory card for yourself so that you can remember that person, or you can make up a memory card for somebody that's in your life now that's still living that you can give to them. Because sometimes, waiting until that person's gone, you wish you would have told them. Okay? So you can do one of those two things. But for those of you that knew Mrs. Ridenauer, I would really, really, really like to be able to give her family a stack of memory cards. Okay? So, with that, I'm going to ask Ben if you guys move your chairs to the side.
All right, man.
Let's move the tables
Yeah, way, absolutely.
That's okay. You can do it without just write your name on the back. Okay?
Do you have